Hi, it's Sam from My World of Fragrance. It's about 1 a.m. over here, and I randomly thought, why haven't I filmed a gift guide yet this year? I mean, come on, of course I need to do one. So I know that I may be late for Christmas, but gifts are given all year long, right? So use this for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, Hanukkah gifts, holiday gifts, Eid gifts, whatever it is that you want to celebrate. If you want to give somebody a gift, the gift of fragrance, then I have some gift ideas for you. To make whoever it is that you're gifting feel special, I've kind of thought through fragrances that are one, pretty much mass appealing, fragrances that aren't offensive and that are very, very likable. Unless you really know someone super well or you know exactly what their taste is, or if it's somebody who's super into fragrance, it's just very hard to pick something out of the blue that you think that they would like as a fragrance. It's such a personal thing, but if you love fragrance as much as I do, you also love gifting fragrance, you know? Like I enjoy receiving fragrance gifts. I really do. I do have a wish list though that I just share with family and friends. But if you want to maybe introduce somebody to this world, or you maybe just want to pamper them with something that is luxurious to receive, then here are some gift ideas. Okay, let me just stop rambling about this. I'm gonna go through all of these by category, so by who you're trying to gift, age group wise, relationship wise, perhaps, and hopefully you get some ideas out of this list. So if you have a special someone in your life that is a female, a girlfriend or a wife or any other type of partner in that sense, then I think that these two fragrances would make great gifts. So the first one is Grisette by Lubin, and this is a fragrance that was created originally in the 1920s as sort of an ode to the women that were becoming liberated, that started wearing their skirts higher and shorter, that had a spring to their step. They worked as seamstresses in Paris at the time. Lubin is a French fragrance house, and then this was relaunched in 2015. This is such a likable fragrance for a female. It really leans heavily feminine and it manages to be light and versatile, but not juvenile as well. So this would suit women of many different ages. This is a fruity Moroccan rose with grapefruit and other citruses inside. It just is a really nice daytime scent for me. But maybe an all-round scent for somebody who doesn't have quite as big of a collection as I do. This comes in an eau de toilette concentration, and this really is a very chipper, spring to your step type of fragrance. And look at the bottle. I just find the bottle to be beautiful as well. I apologize if there are fingerprints on it. It's very hard to keep these things clean when you're trying to show them on camera. But yes, this is Grisette from Lubin, and I think that this would make a marvelous gift. It's also not a fragrance that you see all over the place or talked about a lot either, so it would really seem like a unique gift. My next choice for a partner or a lover or a wonderful female in your life that you may be romantically involved with is, of course, the one, the only, the stunning Baccarat Rouge 540. And this is a big bottle of it. You could, of course, give them the standard 75 ml bottle over here. And if the person that you're gifting is someone who's into beauty or into fragrance slightly, then they would most probably have heard of this gem from Maison Francisco Jeanne, which is their most spoken about fragrance, and for a reason. There are a lot of dupes or copies of this fragrance out there, but I'm not going to be promoting those. This is the original. I find it to be worth the money as is. You get a wonderful projection, a wonderful sillage, and this is a walking contradiction. Icy yet warm, sweet yet gentle. This is a niche creation that is very, very mass appealing, and I would find that most women would enjoy this fragrance. Actually, I left a bottle of this, an empty bottle of Baccarat Rouge at my mom's house, and she found the empty bottle, and just by sniffing it, like from whatever was left in the bottle, there was nothing to spray, but she went crazy for it and she's managed to hunt it down, and now she's gotten a bottle of her own. So this fragrance does do something to people. Now, if you know that your other half doesn't like Baccarat Rouge or already has it, then another option would be Atelier Cologne Silver Iris. And I would just recommend buying a gift from this house in general. I find that their fragrances are quite inoffensive, and the packaging is also quite good because they come in different sizes. They also have like a nice travel size that I believe you can get like in a leather casing that can also be embossed with initials. So that's just a nice personalization factor that you can get from Atelier Cologne, and this is becoming more and more widespread as well. I believe most department stores sell this brand. So Silver Iris is a metallic-y, beautiful iris with black currant and musky tones to it as well. I find this to be a very likable fragrance as well, inoffensive and also leaning feminine, although I do find this to be quite unisex, but yes, another option. Now, if you're a female watching this video and you'd like to give a gift to your boyfriend or your husband or your lover, again, I don't know, your partner, a male person in your life, and I have a couple of suggestions, and the first one is by Bulgari, and this is the Eau Parfumée au Thé Noir, and this is the intense version of it. So it's the one with the gold label. There's also the silver label. I prefer the gold label. Of course, if there's an intense version, I will usually opt for that. But this is a sexy tea scent. It's a black tea scent centered around oud, but it's done in a semi-casual way. Depending on your personality, this could bring you from day to night. I think that if you are working in a professional setting where you dress up quite nicely, then you could pull this off in the daytime as well. Why not? I just find this to be extremely attractive and a very good find for a commercial fragrance. This should be pretty widespread and easy to find for you, and this smells really good. There's a very masculine rose in here as well that the untrained nose would probably not even be able to smell either. But I love this for myself. You all know that I don't care about labeling, but a person who maybe does would probably say that this is a masculine scent. So a beautiful one from Bulgari. Now, if you want to spoil your man, then I think that a nice, very mass-appealing fragrance from a niche house would be Parfum de Mali Layton. And this one gets quite a bit of hype in the fragrance community. Parfum de Mali for me is, I think I've mentioned this before, but a gateway niche fragrance house. So their fragrances are very mass-appealing, even though they're so-called niche. And Layton is no exception. I mean, I really like Layton. It's got green apple in there, vanilla, and spices. Another one that I feel like could go day to night. Maybe for certain people it would be more of a nighttime fragrance. These are stronger fragrances, so for the price you're getting longevity, you're getting sillage, you're getting good long-lasting fragrances, and this is probably a compliment getter as well on a man. You'll feel very macho, masculine. I mean, even the packaging of this is just very rugged. So I think that this would also make an impressive gift for a male partner. Now let's talk about people who are extremely difficult to gift, the teenagers. Teenagers are so freaking picky. I mean, I hate gifting teenagers. I love you teenagers in my life, but you are very picky and hard to get gifts for. So for a teenager, if you want to give them the gift of fragrance, then I would recommend for, firstly, a teenage girl. I would recommend Forever and Ever Dior by Dior, of course, and this is from their collection, The Creations of Mr. Dior. I believe the collection is called, and this is just such a lovely, girly, floral, angelic fragrance. This is breezy and light. It's a compliment getter. It's a fresh floral with some rose in there. It's got musky undertones as well. So it's pretty much what a teenage girl would want to smell like in my head, you know, this sweet type girl that is likable and pleasing. Teenagers want to fit in, you know? So Forever and Ever Dior, and it's not something that everyone that they know would be wearing probably. So, and the next one I would recommend for a teenage girl, if you really want to spoil this teenage girl that you know in your life, then maybe you could get them Parfum de Mali Cassili, and this is an alternative to just getting them Delina, which is probably their best seller, but this is another fruity floral fragrance. It's not exactly my cup of tea. You know that I like my fragrances darker and for the most part leaning masculine, But Kazili is very, very likable. This was a release from earlier this year, and it's got some ripe fruit, some frangipani. I hope I said that right. Frangipani, difficult name. And it's got some sweet florals blended in there as well. Again, this is what I feel a teenage girl would want to smell like. Very likable, very lovable, very sweet and approachable. Kind of like the sweet nectar of a flower, you know? You want to attract the bees to the flower. That's how a teenage girl wants to be. She wants everyone to like her. And they probably will with Kazili. It would probably attract a lot of friends. I don't know. Just trying to help. So for a teenage boy, what the heck do you get a teenage boy, right? There are a lot of fragrances out there on the market that they probably think that they want or they think that they need. All of their friends are wearing the same. Hallelujah! I'm not even going to say the names of those. But I thought that a good option that maybe wasn't as common amongst their friend group would be Molecule. And this is Eccentric 2 from Eccentric Molecules. This is the citrusy one. I think they have several citrusy ones, but Eccentric Molecules basically does fragrances that don't have an actual smell. They work with your skin chemistry due to the large amount of ISOE super in them, or ISOE super. And this, with the ISOE super, the muskiness that creates with the citrusy vibe that it has as well, the ambroxan in here, I think that these are really elements that a teenage boy would love. I mean, I would compliment a teenage boy that smelled like this. I could just imagine them spraying this on after a gym class and just really freshening up that way. I feel like teenage boys always want to smell like citruses, so this is a good option. And I find these really good for layering, actually. I'm going to do a layering 101 with these, but this is just zesty goodness. It's like the zest of a lime with that ambroxan. And yeah, I like it myself, and I think a teenage boy would like this. Eccentric Molecules. So also for a teenage boy, I would recommend Lacoste Pour Homme. And the one that I have is Pour Femme. It's a different fragrance entirely, but I don't have the Pour Homme bottle. I will put it over here somewhere so that you can see it. And I find that Lacoste actually does pretty good mass market versatile, pleasing, compliment getting fragrances. And the Pour Homme version, I feel like, was created so long ago that their friends probably aren't wearing this scent. But I do find that it's suitable for a lot of different ages. More mature men can wear this, but if a teenager wore this, they would definitely smell classy and refined. This is a fragrance that is cozy, that draws people in. It's like a real compliment getter. And it's a spicy fragrance with peppery elements. It's got a plummy note in there that makes it a little bit more unique. And I find this to be a beautiful offering from Lacoste. So I have the Femme version, and I will always have that in my collection. It's just a good go-to office scent. I know that teenagers aren't working in an office, but they kind of want that same thing. They don't want to wear anything that's offensive. They want people to like them. They want to fit in with their fragrance. And the version, I find, is a really good deal. You can get lots of good deals on this one online if you search for it. Next, I'm going to divert to the older citizens, or the more mature members of your family, the moms, the dads. Okay, let's start with the moms, right? So the mothers, your mother-in-law perhaps, your grandma, great-grandma, I don't know who. These are fragrances that I wear and I love. I'm not all that old, but I think that the more mature female would also appreciate these fragrances. So a mature woman thinks that all women need to smell like flowers, right? That's kind of like the traditional vibe of what a female should smell like. So I've come up with two florals that I think would be great for mothers, mother-in-laws, grandmothers, etc. And the first one is one of my all-time favorites, Quelques Fleurs, l'Original by Houbigon, and this one is the original version. There are lots of flankers of this one. So the version that I have is the Extrait. This one is quite pricey, but you can also get the EDP, and you can get it in a smaller format. So I'm sure that you can get good deals on the EDP of this one online. And this is just the grandmother of florals. This is a green, airy floral though. It's not cloying, it's not too much, it's very, very sophisticated. This was actually Lady Di's wedding fragrance, Quelques Fleurs by Ubigon is a classic. It still remains to be very modern. There are countless floral extracts in this fragrance, and this was released in 1912. This began it all. This is such an icon, and this would make a magnificent gift to a woman of that stature in your family or amongst your friends. Next, for a mother, I would highly recommend Idylle by Guerlain. This is such a stunning fragrance to me. This has been compared to Narciso Rodriguez for her, the pink bottle, and I do not agree with that. There are some similarities, but I don't want to hear about that. Like, this is its own fragrance. It's deep. It's got so many layers and aspects to it. It's very finely crafted. This is so lovely. It manages to be sensual as well, with lily of the valley, rose in there, and musky elements as well. This can go from day to night in my book, and this is just a stunning fragrance. I mean, give a woman Guerlain and they are definitely going to feel special. So Idylle by Guerlain. That's also a very long-lasting fragrance on me, so definitely good quality. Next, for the male counterpart of this role in the family hierarchy, the dad. Don't you just love dads? Oh my goodness. I have such a good relationship with my dad. Love him so much. So of course you want to have your dad feel appreciated, whether it's your dad, your stepdad, your father-in-law, your grandfather, that man in your situation. For a dad, for a father, I would definitely recommend Sartorial by Penhaligon's. And Sartorial is such a dapper fragrance. The word to describe this is dapper and elegant and stylish and sophisticated. This is a fougère. It definitely has that lavender note that's prominent. It's a definite barbershop vibe type fragrance, but this is as if you have your own private barber and you're staying in a suite at the Ritz and they are shaving you in your own private chair. So this is very highly sophisticated stuff. This is inspired by Savile Row, if you know that street here in London, where they create those bespoke suits. They do tailoring, and this was inspired by a workshop, so a tailor's workshop. And that is the kind of man that wears Sartorial. That is what a dad wants to be like, no? I mean, my dad wants to be sophisticated and worldly and all of those things. Dads are such know-it-alls. This was created by Bertrand Duchaufour, oh la la, my love. And this, I can't say it enough, is a gorgeous fragrance for a gentleman. Now, if you really love your dad and you want to make him feel special, get him a Serjoff. Get him Comandante by Serjoff. This is from their Join the Club collection. I've spoken about this in my top 5 from the House of Serjoff, and I feel like this is an overseen gem from the house. This is Serjoff's take on tobacco and honey, but it's mixed with some floral notes, some sweet fruity notes, and I find this to be an extremely likable fragrance. This is not in your face, crazy, niche stuff. This is more mass appealing, I would say. And imagine your father's face if he opened a box and this was inside it. This is a sweet tobacco-y scent that is very sophisticated. It leans very much masculine, so your father would feel that traditional masculine macho vibe from this fragrance. My father's always afraid of appearing too feminine. That's just like old school nonsense. But anyways, you want to make your dad happy, right? So get him Comandante by Serjoff. He'll feel like $1,000,000. So that's it for my fragrance gift guide, my friends. I hope you really enjoyed this video. I tried to pick a few different things for each category. I know that gifting a fragrance, like I said, is a very, very difficult thing to do, but these are fragrances that I think are pretty much no-brainers. They are items that everyone, I believe, would be happy to receive. And if not, then I don't know what the hell is wrong with them. But these are the types of fragrances that I would consider to give as gifts in each of these categories. May you all have a wonderful holiday if you're celebrating, and I will see you next time. And P.S. thank you so much for all of your amazing supportive comments. You guys are keeping me going. I know a lot of YouTubers say this, but community is really the most important part of me doing this. So let's keep the community going. And yeah, Keep sending through your requests for videos. I love reading them as well, and I will add everything to my list. I promise I do that. And I have so much more coming for you. It's just a matter of getting enough time to film, yada yada, no more excuses. I'm gonna do my best. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I wish you a lovely day, evening, whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in the next video.